This is the full weekly reading for thinkers, feelers, doers, and builders. This week's reading focuses on where you gave your power away. Hi, I'm Lori, and I'm a tarot card reader and a spiritual counselor. And each week I share intuitive reflections that help you reconnect with your inner guidance. In my work with clients, I've discovered that people tend to move through life in 4 different ways: as thinkers, feelers, doers, and builders. And if you'd like to discover which one tends to be your starting place, I created a short quiz you can take, and the link to it is in the description below. Each of these 4 pathways also connect to a suit in the tarot deck. The thinkers connect with the swords, the feelers connect with the cups, the doers connect with the wands, and the builders connect with the pentacles. And most of us naturally lean toward one, although we have all 4 within us. Let's take a look at our cards for the week. Now, this week's theme is all about power and where you gave your power away. So let's begin with the thinkers. People who tend to process life through the mind. All right, thinkers, let's see where you gave your power away, or where you're giving your power away this week, so that you can be aware of it. So with my thinkers, it's coming through that where you're giving your power away is in the details. Like, you're not paying attention to the little things that you can do that are helping build toward the bigger picture of what you're moving towards. So it does matter. The details do matter this week. So pay attention to that checklist, because you'll give your power away by just trying to jump to the end. You have to pay attention to the details this week. You are headed in the right direction, but if you skip over a detail, you're going to overpromise, and you're not going to be able to come through with what you promised you could come through with. It is showing that with you and another person, it's really important that you come to an understanding that you're both on the same page about. And it is showing that you may not be or feel like you're on the same page, and that may lead to a lack of contentment. But if you stick to the little details that you came up with at the beginning of the week, you'll both move forward and be happy with the results. It's important that each one of you follow through on the things that you promised to follow through on. Otherwise, you're going to feel impatient with yourself and with the other person. So again, make sure you create that checklist and make sure you go through it. And then you'll have something to celebrate at the end of the week. Now I'm going to look at the message for the feelers, the people who tend to move through life through their heart. Let's see where you potentially may be giving your power away this week. Okay. Well, the first card down is saying you're giving it away by being too self-critical. You're spinning around and around in this notion that you have to be perfect. And when you spin around in this notion, of course, you're going to feel very shut down. You're going to want to withdraw. You're going to want to just push everybody away and be stubborn. It's about getting back to loving yourself and being gentle with yourself this week. Feeling at home in yourself and realizing how far you have come rather than what you're still lacking. You're giving your power away by not recognizing how far you've come. You're not believing in yourself. This is eating away at your own sense of self-worth. And somebody outside of you is reminding you of all you've done. But you know what? It doesn't matter how many, a gazillion people could tell you you're doing well. If it doesn't start with the inside, if you don't allow yourself to feel that, it's not going to matter. So stop giving yourself or stop giving your power away with your self-criticism. What is one thing right here, right now, that you can look at yourself and say, I do this well? Take a look at that. Now I am going to move on to the doers. People who tend to move through life through doing, through action and momentum. All right, let's see where you're giving your power away this week. Now, with my doers, what I'm seeing is that you're wanting to just go on to the next thing. You're wanting to leave behind something because of not feeling good about it, and you're wanting to create the next thing so that you don't have to pay attention to the first unfinished thing. That's how you're giving your power away, by jumping too quickly into the next thing without closing off the thing before. You're going to end up feeling scattered. You're going to end up feeling, your energy is going to end up feeling diffused. And that is how you're giving your power away this week, my doers. It's really important that an agreement that you made with somebody else earlier last month, you follow through on, because honestly, if you just ignore it and you try to jump to the next thing and create the next promise with this person, they're not really going to look at you with, you're not really going to convince them. They're not really going to know whether or not you will follow through, because you didn't follow through on the first thing. So this is all about follow through, doers. You have to look back at what you haven't followed through on before starting something new. When you do, you will establish yourself as a natural leader and as someone that knows what they're doing. Someone that's doing something with purpose rather than doing something just to do something. And that's important. All right, finally, I am going to share the message for my builders, the people who tend to move through life through creating structure, stability, and foundation. Let's see where you're giving your power away this week. All right. Now with my builders, it's saying that you're trying to do everything on your plate at once and giving everything equal importance. You have to prioritize this week. Lack of prioritization is leading to where you're giving your power away. You've got to prioritize again. You've got to see through what's going on in front of you and not think that everything that's landing for you needs to be taken care of right here, right now. There are things that can wait. There are things that can wait a day. There are things that can wait a week. And it's saying that it's really important for you to take a look in the big scheme of things, what has priority and what doesn't. It is showing that it's about listening to your intuitive nudges and allowing yourself to feel content with what your decisions are. Let go of the need to figure it all out at once and to do everything. Pick what's most important and don't exhaust yourself. So as far as this week is concerned, take a look at where you are giving your power away. And if something in this reading opened up a question that you want to explore more personally, I do one-on-one readings and spiritual counseling sessions, and the link to book is in the description. I'd love to hear from each of you how you're giving your power away. And if you want to go deeper with your specific type, I've linked this week's full playlist. Tuesday through Friday, each type gets their own reading. So subscribe so you don't miss next week's reading, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and share.